Hello there. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Doris Venter of Library Arts, and I'm here to show you today how we can use a simple picture frame and mosaics and a little bit of glue to create a wonderful sun catcher. Here's my little example here. I made a sun catcher using sea glass. I created a little sailboat, a sun, and a sky. I'm going to walk you through the steps of how you can make your own beautiful sun catcher. So how about we get started? Okay, I think we're ready to get started. So why don't we start by talking about the supplies you have been given. You've been given the choice of a white or a black frame. So whichever kit you got is going to have a white frame in it or a black, not two, just one. So hopefully you were able to pick a kit that had the frame color you liked. So I'm going to put this black frame aside for a moment so I can show you the other materials in your kit. You're obviously going to need some beautiful mosaics. So I have prepared a bag of mosaics for you, and there's all different kinds. This one reminds me of a sea glass. It's not true sea glass, but it has the beautiful look of a sand washed glass. You have round nuggets, little glass nuggets in different colors. You also have little colorful tiles like this black one that looks black on one side. If you turn it over, it has a nice iridescent finish. You might find some red, white, green tiles like the black one that also have an iridescent finish on the back. You may also find sometimes just some irregular stained glass pieces. Occasionally a few, these are not mosaics per se, they're just acrylic gems. And these are all the things that you can choose from. And of course, anything left over, you're going to be able to keep for your mosaic sun catcher. So let me put that aside. You're also going to get a cup of glue. Now this is a clear glue, and you can see as I turn it that there is indeed glue in here. And we use a clear glue because that way you will not see the glue on the back of your sun catcher when it's dry. And any leftover glue, you can also cap it and keep it. And for applying the glue, I have included a craft stick. Then if you want to do any decorations around the edge of your sun catcher, you can use these little gems, or you can actually use some of these leftover mosaic pieces, as long as they're not too heavy, and knock your frame down. Now that we've gone over the materials, oh, there's one more thing. This is a planning sheet. You'll notice that the paper is sized to fit the inside of your frame. Now, we're not going to glue this on our frame inside our window. We're just going to simply use this as a planning sheet. So when you put this on the table, you can, line up your mosaics and say, oh, this is the design I like. I think I'm going to do this. And this shows you how much space you have inside the window. And by the way, we will be gluing the mosaics onto the outside of the glass. And this is not glass, it's plexiglass. We're not going to glue anything, no glue on the inside, only on the outside. We're going to put little bits of glass and your mosaics there. But this is your planning sheet so that you can make a design that you're happy with and then transfer the mosaics onto the frame. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, before we actually get started with arranging and designing our picture, one of the things that I find very helpful and people often like to do is just to do a little sorting. Maybe you want to sort by the type of glass or tile you have, like you're going to put maybe all the sea glass pieces together. Maybe you're going to put all the nuggets together. You can decide, maybe you want to put all the tiles together. Maybe you want to sort it by color. You can decide, but the idea is by sorting, you can see what mosaics you have to work with before you actually make your design. Sometimes people find that helpful. Maybe I want to put the brown ones over here, the green ones over here, and just make little piles on a tray or on the table. And it's almost like these become little puzzle pieces. And your puzzle is to fill in the space in your frame with all your little puzzle pieces. So as I said, you're going to have more than you need in terms of pieces to work with. Play with your design on the paper, and then in the next video, I'll talk to you about transferring your design onto the frame for the final Suncatcher. See you in a minute. Welcome back. Did you have time to plan out your design? Did you move tiles all the way around? Well, this is what I came up with, and to me, it looks sort of like a beachy scene with a little sailboat, which I have with this orange and blue sea tile, and then I've used these square tiles to make a little bit of a sky, and I found a yellow tile in my bag to make a little sun. So again, this is not fancy, it's not perfection, and all these pieces may not fit inside my frame. I'm going to find out as I start to do the transfer, which is what we're going to do next. So I'm going to carefully move my design aside so that it's nearby, and I'll be able to do the transfer easily because I'm going to have my frame right here. Now I have my glue, which is the clear glue. Now what you're going to be doing is you're going to scoop out some glue with your craft stick. And I want you to just gently, without putting any pressure, you don't want to push, you don't want to, put a lot of pressure on the glass. And see how it's drippy? Make sure you just wipe that craft stick on the top. And I'll put my glue aside for a moment. And I'm going to just start gently, with no pressure again, laying in the tiles for my design. Now I'm just starting on the top line of my design, which is that sky, and I'm just transferring one tile at a time into the glue. The glue is clear. It will stay clear and dry clear. I like to work in from the top of to the bottom, or from the bottom of the top to the top, but it really depends on your design. Now if you have something that's like a flower in the middle of your window, I would start from the middle and work my way out. So just work in the way that makes sense to you. To me, it kind of makes sense to kind of get the sky in first, and then below it, the boat, and then, whoops, below that, the kind of watery, rocky area. So I'm just going to put my tiles in the way I had arranged them on my paper, one at a time. And this can go pretty quickly if you have enough of the glue down. You can work your way across relatively quickly. Now I think I'm going to put my boat in next. That way I can decide what I need to put around it. So I'm kind of just going to put a little extra glue where my boat's going to go. Put this one here, and there happens to be a tile underneath my boat raising it up a little bit. But I don't mind that. I kind of liked the way it looked, so I just left it stuck like that. But you have to decide what you're comfortable with. And I have these little, like, what I consider to be little splashes of water. And all these are little granules of mosaic pieces. And while the glue is still wet, you can easily move pieces around. So here's my little like water spray near my boat. Now I'm going to continue and fit as many tiles as I can onto my picture like that. And it looks like I have room for a little sliver more, but you know what? I don't have another tile because it wasn't in my bag. So I'll move these over, and I'll take a few of these crystals here to fill that in. There. Now I'm going to start doing the next line, which will be more of the blue and white, and then it's going to start going into my sea glass. So I have some blue, another blue underneath the sun, another blue. Maybe I'll move this little crusty one down here so I can get one white tile in. There we go. And white again. And let's see. Then I'm going to put this blue one there. And now I'm going to start putting in some of the sea glass, because I don't mind if the sea glass comes into the sky area. That's not gonna bother me. That's not gonna bother me at all. And notice I still have plenty of glue left, so you don't wanna be stingy, but you don't wanna put too much gloppy glue down either, so that you have enough to finish your design. So put some blue, and you may find while you're working like, oh wow, it looks like I'm gonna need, you know, more pieces than I anticipated. And if that's the case, like I'm gonna move that one over there. Oopsie, get stuck in the glue. You can change your design just to work with how it's going on your glass. Like you may say, oh gee, I really need more room here. I don't have room for that piece. I'm gonna have to put another piece. I may have to change the direction of the piece. But the one thing you want to avoid is jamming or squishing any pieces in. If you do that, you risk cracking the plexiglass, which, you know, is relatively sensitive to pressure. So I would just be aware of that and try not to do that. I think I'm gonna put this blue one here because it just seems to fit better, and maybe, yeah, sometimes, like, you know, that wasn't my original plan, but as I said, I'm just gonna adapt and move things till I get the best fit possible. Put this one here, and then this one, and let's find a piece that's gonna go right in there, of course, and then I'm getting down to the bottom where I'm putting more glue. And again, I still have glue left in this container, and this glue, which is called tacky glue, is just a clear version of regular white tacky glue, and it's nice to use for lots of projects. I use tacky glue in a lot of different things, so I'm thinking that will fit there. This one I want to fit here. You see how I'm just sort of figuring it out as I go? I say, where's it gonna fit best and yet still share my design idea? I have a little piece I can tuck in there, a little piece here, and it looks like I'm gonna have space left over so I can go back into my bag, which I'll have nearby just for this purpose. And I can say, oh, you know, here's a little piece that might fit. And it looks like in my bag with the leftover tiles I have, I could find maybe another little piece that might fit, like that. And that is my little sailboat. Oh, and then you can look, I have a spot there and there. Maybe I can find some little crumbs in my bag. And sometimes those little crumbs are just perfect for filling any little blank spots. I know some people get very fixated on filling every little tiny corner of their work, and I try to make sure you get some little crumbs in your bag, because those crumbs are perfect when you dig down for just doing that. Just like finding a little piece that'll be just the right size for a spot like this. And then you can take another look. And I mean, I think it's pretty good. Maybe I have a little spot over here. I'll put just a dab of glue right there. And I'll find a little crumb just for that little spot. And usually it's gonna be at the bottom of your bag, because they just tend to settle there. So I found this little crumb. I think that would be perfect. Just gotta, again, no jamming. And now I have leftover glue, so I'm gonna just put this stick aside for a moment, but I can save that with the lid. Now the next thing you can do once you have your mosaic design done is you can decide if you would like, just to do some fun little decorative flourishes to the outside of your frame. So what I've done here is I've given you some fun, you know, like maybe I want to put a tiny little dot on the sail. You can put it in your mosaic, or you can put these on the outside of your frame, like I'm showing you with the pieces I have. Or you might say, oh, I want to alternate. I want like this here. So I'm not going to put any on my frame, but I am thinking I might like to put a little gem, maybe even this green one. I'm not sure. I like that white one, but I'm going to try a couple different colors before I decide which one is the best. Let's try this one. Oh, that's pretty. I like that pink one. It's kind of fun. And let me try that white one again. Which one do I like better? I think the pink gives it just a little pop, and I like that because I want my sailboat to stand out. So I'm going to put that little tiny gem right there. And there you go. I'm going to take my stick, I'm going to throw that out because I don't need it anymore. I'm going to cap my glue because I could totally reuse this. And guess what? Whatever gems you have left, whatever mosaics you have left, you can use them for your own design. So this is a beautiful design, especially near a bright sunny window. So I hope you will find a beautiful spot to put your mosaic design and use it as a sun catcher. Remember, I chose this frame because it stands up beautifully. Now, I don't want you to stand it up now because it is going to be very wet. I want you to let it dry overnight. But you can stand it up portrait style or landscape, which is the way I have it here. So I hope you enjoyed the program today. I know I enjoyed working with you. This is Doris Benter of Library Arts. Stay creative. Bye-bye.